Hi everybody, welcome to this video. This video is an update for you all on what I've read since we last chatted about what I read. So from July through to the end of September, there was probably 2 books each month that I managed to get through, and yeah. So today we're going to have a chat about what I gave them rating wise and how I felt about them. Some books I jumped into really excitedly because they're raved on about so much, but yeah, some disappointments, but there was also some awesome highlights within there, and one movie I even went to see the movie of as well, so I'll have a bit of a chat about that as well. Trying not to spoil things, of course. So I've got my books beside me here in the pile ready to chat about. There's 6 all up because it's been a while. So I average about 2 books a month, to be honest. Yeah, so let's get started. I've just got sticky notes kind of with what I gave them rating wise on Goodreads. If you do want to follow me on Goodreads, it's just under my first and last name, and I'll pop that in the description box if you want to search it and so forth. If not, you can always just stay tuned for these videos. So the first book that I read in July was The Trivia Night by Ellie Lou. And yeah, it's a fairly decent sized book. I gave it 4 stars. At first I wasn't really keen on it, but in the middle and the end, there was some twists and turns and things like that in the story, and I ended up really loving it. So I ended up giving it 4 stars. Yeah, so pretty much I'll just read the blurb so you guys know what it's a bit about as well. So from the outside, the parents of the kindergarten class at primary school seem to have it all. Living in the wealthy northern beaches of Sydney, it's a community everybody knows each other. Secrets, don't say secret for long. The big day in the calendar is the school's annual trivia night, but when the evening gets out of hand, talk turns of partner swapping scandalizes not long before the group of parents are reckless one night. But in Heart of the Light Day, they must, address their behaviours. As they begin to navigate the aftermath of the night, the truth, don't know why I'm getting cranky, sorry. The truth threatens to rip their perfect lives apart, and revenge checks fatal. So yeah, it's quite an interesting story actually. Yeah, and actually from my memory, one of the little kids has the same name as me in the book, Evie, and I was just really surprised of that. The kid, however, is totally unlike me. I was always the well-behaved kid. This kid was so naughty and stuff. Yeah, but she was the main kid as well, so yeah. That was kind of cool to discover my name was in the book a little bit. I don't think there's not much more that I can say apart from that it just took a bit to get into. There's twists and turns that grabbed me and made it interesting for me in the middle and the end. Especially the ending, it was very different to what I sort of had in my head. Yeah, so yeah, I do suggest giving it a shot. It is quite a good read. So yeah, 4 stars for that one. And then the other book that I read in July, this book I got as like a mystery book when I visited my local book club for the very first time. So I had like no idea about this book going into it. And I honestly didn't know this Aussie actress or like well-known person at all either. The book's called The AntiCool Girl, Rosie Waterland. It was quite a tragic and sad story, and I think because I'm not really in the right place at the moment for that kind of thing, so it was very challenging for me to read. Whereas like at the moment I like reading like happy vibed things or something more uplifting or entertaining, obviously. But I did manage to get through it. It's only short. It was an easy read. And however, some of the language in it is quite over the top as well. I'll read the back a bit for you. Rosie has never been cool growing up in the Housing Commission. She was cursed with a nearly perfect older sister who dressed really well all the time. She soon realized that she was like, you know, a downfall from her sister, and that it was not cool what she was doing. She grew up and then she was like in rehab, had overdoses, was taking drugs, all that kind of stuff. And then she watched her dad passed away, and her mum was continually talking about ending her life. So as an adult, she had to come to terms over what her childhood was like and a lot of her adulthood as well. And yeah, she had to acknowledge herself that she was the anti-cool girl, to put that in summary. So yeah, I honestly only gave this 1 star. I was firstly reluctant to read it because I had no idea who this Rosie person was. And when I read the back, all those kind of difficult topics kind of put me off, because as I said, I wasn't really wanting to read something like that. But so I kind of only read it because it was given to me at my book club, and obviously I had to sort of report back to the person that gave it to me and the club and say, you know, this is my overview of the book, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I would not recommend this book because I only gave it 1 star. Okay, so that was July stuff. We're now moving into August stuff. I started off with a very short book, as you can see. This is called The Library of Unrequited Love. It's a story that just sort of flows on. It doesn't have like chapters or sections or anything like that. It's just like start to finish and a big flow on. Because it's so short, I guess you could say. And I grabbed this at a local book sale for only like $1. So I will read the back. One morning, a librarian finds a reader who has been locked in overnight. She begins to talk to him in a conversation as she rails against snobbish colleagues, ungrateful and ignorant public, the Dewey Decimal System, which is like a library system, and the conspiracies of books. Two things shine through. Her unrequited passion for a researcher named Martin, and the love for the arts. So yeah, it's just based on being locked in a library and a lot of library talk. When I was a kid, I always admired librarians. I still do a bit actually. It would be an interesting environment to work in. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. What did I give it? I gave it 4 stars. So yeah, if you can find it, it's only short, quick read. It only took me, one night. And if you're into like library sort of concepts and all that, it is quite interesting. So yeah, I do suggest reading that if you can find it. And then I read a really thick book in August. Really, really thick. This one is called The Stardust Thief. It's by Chelsea Abdullah. I was excited going into this book, and I was excited to find it in Australia to pick up at Big W. I found it actually, because the month I found it was the month that all Americans were sort of raving about it with the Book of the Month Club. And I also at the time connected to the podcasts for the Book of the Month, and I listened to this author talk about this book, and the way she spoke about it, like, it sort of put me in, really, really up there with high expectations. So I dove into it with really, really high expectations. To be honest, I struggled with it pretty much since the beginning. It eventually sort of built up the world that they were in finally, like in the middle of the book. So I thought, I'll keep going with it, because I nearly DNF'd it, to be honest. But I made it through to the end because I was hoping that it would improve, but it didn't at all. I only gave this a disappointing 1 star. I was hoping to give it more than that, but I didn't link to any of the characters. I didn't. The language in it that was used, it was very technical about everything, and that took my focus off the story a lot, because I was trying to understand the writing style, so I didn't like her writing at all. Yeah, so I only gave it 1 star, and if you have read it and you love it, I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. You keep loving it if you did. And if you like her writing, then fair enough. We're all different, aren't we? You might be like. Yeah, so I went in very highly anticipated, but was let down a lot. And it was a struggle read, so that's why I only gave it 1 star, unfortunately. And I was very disappointed because I was excited finding it in the shop. I was excited from the podcast. I was excited from everybody, saying how excited they were for the book and everything, and then very let down. Okay, let's move on to September reads. The next one is an exciting one. In September, I sort of mood read. Those last ones that I all mentioned were on my last TBR that I announced to you all. And in September, I didn't have a chance to do my TBR, so I just pulled things from my to-read shelf that I felt like reading, so it was like a mood sort of reading. The first one I read was Where the Crawdads Sing. And this book, in September, the movie actually came out as well. And I really wanted to read this before I saw the movie, just to, you know, like compare. This was so capturing from like the very first word. I just adored and loved the writing by Delilah Owens, which is the author. And yeah, I just loved every single word. I loved every single moment of the story. It just really encaptures you in everything. And it's so brilliant. A big thumbs up, and I gave it 5 stars. It was just so amazing. The highlight for such a long time. So yeah, it made me really happy to finally get a 5-star read. It was highly recommended to me from people in my book club to read it, but as I said, I was keen myself to read it before I saw the movie, and I luckily found it at an op shop for like $2 or $3, so that was awesome. Definitely an awesome book, and I highly recommend it. I did, the same day that I finished reading this, I actually went straight to see the movie because I had the day off work. And it was actually the last day it was showing in a cinema. And yes, I went excitedly along to the movie, and because this was all fresh in my mind, it was really good to do it that way. And to catch it actually at the cinema, because otherwise I would have had to wait forever for streaming and whatnot. And the movie was really well done as well. I loved the movie as well. There was some little differences, especially with the ending of the book, but majority of it was online with the book, and what was in there. So that's probably why I love the movie too. Yeah, the actors were brilliant in it, and actresses. They did it really well, and just the environment that they had was really lovely, and even the like soundtrack they put to it was amazing too. If you haven't seen the movie or read the book, highly recommend. Both a 5-star. So yeah, that was all about the Crawdads Thing. So you can probably tell by my smile how excited I was to finally have an awesome read, and it was exciting to see the movie as well. Okay, the last book that I read in September, I just finished actually on the very last day of September, and that was The Love Hypothesis. It has been sitting on my to-read shelf for a very long time. I can't even remember when I bought it. I jumped into this book with, you know, strong recommendations. Also, like, it was really hyped up, obviously. And I thought I would love it because I'm one of those people who always, like, falls in love with all the smart guys and the nerds and, yeah, all that sort of stuff. I've been like that since high school. But yeah, I thought I would love it, and I also love the show The Big Bang Theory as well, so I thought I would love it for that reason. But I did not like it, sadly. I did manage to read it all. It is an easy read, I must say. It's a very easy read. I just did not like the fake dating scenario at all. Probably because of who I am as a person. Like, I don't like fake dating, I don't like lying. So yeah, just from me as a person. I think that is the main reason why I disliked it so much. I did like when they like finally got to like the conference stage. Those chapters like really excited me and stuff like that. But the beginning and the end I wasn't really a fan of. The writing is easy to read, so yeah. And I sort of liked how in the book, let's try and find it, each chapter had like the hypothesis thing stated up the top. I really liked how it was formatted like that, but I just did not like the whole thing in general. I only gave it 2 stars, to be honest. Yeah. I had a few exciting chapters, as I said, with the conference stuff, but yeah, the book as a whole I didn't really enjoy, which is sad. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Yeah, so that's kind of disappointing. Yeah, but I gave it a go. There is another book by this author that recently came out called Love on the Brain, and there is a little snippet in this book about that, which looks to be like a similar format, but I don't think I'll sort of venture that way because I didn't like that one. This one, I should say. So yeah, I'll just continue with some of my other awesome reads. So yeah, that is my little summary on all those 6 books for July, August and September. I do apologize for not being on my channel. I have had a lot of health stuff going on that some of it is still eventuating currently as well, but I really wanted to get back and get into filming and things because it's something that I love to do, and it kind of keeps me happy. So yeah, mainly because I love sharing my love of books and planning and shopping and all that sort of stuff, so it kind of gives me, you know, a fun outlet with all the chaotic life stuff going on. So my next video for books will probably be my October TBR. My October TBR will be, you know, books that are focused on Halloween or like scary elements or magic or things like that. I already have purchased a couple of books, and I'm going to be starting one tonight actually. So my TBR will be sort of a little bit different, like it'll just be like picks from what I have bought for the month, and other things that I have on my shelf as well, so it'll be a little bit different from how I do things for my TBR, but it will be a zone to get back into it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I'll do that as soon as I possibly can, as soon as I can film it for you all. But for now, thank you for watching this video, and yeah, just for being patient with me, for returning and everything. Please thumbs up, like, and subscribe, all that kind of thing. And if you're new here, welcome. I will catch you all very, very soon, and enjoy your day or your evening. Bye.